Well, if you're watching over on the YouTube side of things, we welcome you into the penultimate race of the season 4 here for the San Andreas Auto Club stuff. We were streaming over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. So if you'd like to go back and watch that part of the broadcast, we will have the VOD up there over on the Twitch side of things. Some odd reason, the way we have things set up on the network is as soon as I go live on OBS, it should have grabbed it here on YouTube. I appreciate everybody for pinging me in the Discords and in the chat. But it's been a caution fest, unfortunately, here. But Connor Trafari will lead us back to green here. He's led almost every lap of the race here, but it's me, Trafari, Robinson, Thurston, back to the point. The 21. Vamir trying to make the spot up, but here comes Ollie Reeves in the 31. Trying to make a spot is the 25 around in the back. Caution will wave once again. It's Tarpley backing it up the wrong way here into turn 3. Into 1 and 2, my apologies. The 25 coming down pit road here. And I have to get some damage fixed, but, you know, I was talking about this earlier in the broadcast here on the Twitch side of things. This is exactly what this 9 wants to see. Connor Trafari. I mean, I think everybody would love to get a green flag run, including probably Connor up here in the booth. I mean, as a driver, he probably wants to get out, stretch his legs out instead of having, you know, maybe run, you know, at most of 5 laps here. But like we said before, this is Martinsville, so. You'll see some drivers still down pit road trying to get some damage fixed. Obviously the 25, who was the big culprit there. You see Wyatt Roberts down pit road. He's also those two will actually go a lap down here. So 2 lap cars now is Wyatt Roberts and Shockey Larpy. Shockey Tarpley, my apologies. Will now go laps down. Wyatt 1 lap down. Now that 25 will go 2 laps down. But it's going to be Connor Trafari back to the point. James Thurston, Christopher Robinson, your top 3. Further in the back here, some battling it out to 36. Cody Rivera is trying to make the move on the 21 of Amir Bascom. Bascom trying to take the spot. Trying to keep the spot, my apologies. Gonna keep it for now. Now they battle further on back. Justin Rott trying to hold on. Had to move, potentially made on him from the 00 Jurgensmeyer. Jurgensmeyer will stay back there in the P9 position. Clearly the top 9 all single file. This is around the time where you might start to see some drivers try to be a little bit more passive here. The battling further in the back, the 7, the 17, trying to make some spots up here. Some tire smoke. Micah Walls trying to drive his way back through the field. He gets around the 28 of Brad in the 28 machine. We know Micah's going to be quick, but obviously he caused that caution, got the EOL penalty. Gonna have to drive through the field the hard way. Caution once again. I'm not sure who it was. But Ethan was given a penalty here. Maybe was he the cause? We'll go back and see if maybe he can show us the way here. Yeah, he gets the curbing there. Spins it out here right out of turn 4. This is the same, kind of the same spot we saw him lose it the first time, except he spins it down the track instead of overcorrecting up the track this time by. So caution waves one more time. The 7 of Ethan Marino around here out of turn 4. So once again under caution here from Martinsville. Looking at some of your drivers who have driven their way through the field. The 00 Jurgensmeyer doing a good job getting up through the field. Let's see. Looking at some of your drivers further on back here. Gumi up a couple spots here. He's looking pretty good, but pace car back in. And 9. Connor Trafari back to the point. He continues to lead here from Martinsville. Driving to the corner there for some of these drivers. Jurgensmeyer looking underneath the 76. Justin Rott trying to hold on the top. But Jurgensmeyer has continued to drive his way through the field. Slowly but surely. 76 fighting hard on the top though. Going to try to keep the spot. His Jurgensmeyer will jump back behind. Now he's going to be on the top side trying to make some moves. Going to try to follow the 76 through. But Justin Rott actually makes the pass on the top around the 36 of Cody Ramirez. AJ Hyder trying to drive his way back through the field. Still a little bit of damage on that right side. See him a little bit of a lockup on that right front as well. Remember, got the wall pretty hard. Lost a lot of track position. Now trying to drive his way back through the field the hard way. Up inside the top 10. Trying to battle for this P9 position with him and Jurgensmeyer. A good battle up front here as well. To 82, James Thurston using up the 12 a little bit. Going to try to make the pass work out of turn 1 and 2. Not going to make it happen. They'll stay side by side in the 3 and 4. Thurston should be able to clear out of turn 4 here. And now look, the kind of the barn door has been open for some of these drivers here. Now here comes a 31 underneath the 52 of Austin Duran, my apologies. So he shuts the door on the 31. And then the 52 is going to try to put some pressure on the 12. And it's just, I love this accordion that you always have from Martinsville. As soon as one door opens, it closes. And then as soon as that door closes, another one opens. But James Thurston up to the P2 spot. Can he run down your race leader in Chavari? Some battles further on back. AJ Hyder looking to the inside of Rott. And he's making these passes. He's been kind of stalled out here right around this 9th to 10th place area here. Justin has been able to figure out how to run this top and keep side by side with the 44. And the 44 has not been able to really get this pass done yet. He's going to continue to work on this 76. See if he can get it done. But right now, Justin Rott does not want to give this spot up here for this P8 position, but finally the 44 gets clear up in the P7 and the P8, my apologies. We'll try to run down these drivers here. You see the 36, one of those drivers who was trying to shade a little bit higher. That's the 52. Doran up in the outside wall. I don't know, maybe he got a little bit of help there, but that's going to allow the 31 of Reeves to get into the inside of the 52 and try to be aggressive to get this pass done. And now the 52 is in that spot where he's going to have to play a little bit of defense here. Saw the 31 a little bit loose out of 4. Had to shallow up this entry, trying to keep the car underneath them. The 31 will clear here into turn number 3. See if he can try to get away. A little bump to the back of the 52. Amir wants to in that 21 Sunoco machine. Connor Trafari, we go back further up. A 2-second lead to the rest of the field here. Connor Trafari obviously started up front. Back there in the P2 spot and took the lead away from AJ Hyder and has just dominated this race. 2-second gap back to James Thurston, which is, an accomplishment in its own right. Thurston knows how to get it done here in these nations. I've raced with him quite a bit, and he's someone who's really good at hitting his marks and keeping the pressure on. But a 2-second gap back to the 82. Connor Trafari on a roll right now. And even Thurston, he's put a sizable gap back to the P3 position. About a 1.5 seconds back to P3 on back. Right now, the 12. Christopher Robinson rounding out the podium spots there in that 12 Ford Dark Horse Mustang. And he's starting to try to get away as well here from the rest of the group there. See some battling further on back. Some double file here. It's the 7 and the 94. It's the battle for P25. 7 trying to hold on. The 94 trying to take the spot away on that bottom side. Like right now, the 7 might have the advantage here. The 94 here. And we've seen this 94 in a couple of incidents tonight. Still a little bit of front end damage on this thing. Just trying to keep this car going, right? That's going to be the way to keep yourself in the race here, is by keeping yourself in the fight, right? Obviously, that car is probably not going to drive the best with that front end damage. Probably going to make that thing turn a little bit less as well. That's how the damage model works. So the 94 up an outside wall. Might take him off the camera here. Caution is out. Potentially the 6 machine having an issue. Yep, loose out of 4. We've seen this time and time again. You'll see him tow that thing to pit road. You'll also get that EOL penalty. Obviously, I don't think that's going to matter too much here for the 6s. Yeah, to tow that thing. Already 3 laps down. Some drivers down pit road here. Lots of drivers. Then you see the 21, you see the 68, you see lots of drivers, and we've ran about almost 80 laps here. I mean, I think it's a good time to take a set there. You see James Balmar out of pit road here. See if we can drag up the 65 of Shui up here in the booth. Hey, Shui, it's Christian up here in the HPTV booth. Got a copy?
Got a copy.
Well, obviously, a pretty good run for you. You're running up inside the top 10, that top 15 area. Obviously, a lot of cautions tonight here from Martinsville. Walk us through, your race, and obviously you came down pit road. What's kind of the strategy call there for that 68 team?
Obviously our season's over, unfortunately. We did not advance to the next round of the playoffs, so tonight's kind of strategy was to just kind of play dodge them and just avoid as much carnage as I possibly could. Stay out of the way as much people, try to race the playoff guys cleanly as I can, and just kind of like a give and take game. So just kind of keep my nose clean, mind my P's and Q's, and just also being nice on the gas pedal.
Yeah, obviously you talked about Martinsville. We've had, calamity here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really, really, really competitive race so far. Lots of argy-bargy. Guys don't want to give up positions, so it's great to see that. Love short track racing, and I think this race will get even better.
Well, yeah, back green here. We appreciate your time up in the booth, and we wish you good luck.
Hey, thanks a lot. Take care.
Connor Chavari back to the lead here. This time he does have James Thurston, who's going to be a little bit closer to him this time by. Can Thurston capitalize here with the track position that he got back with that caution coming out? Or can Chavari continue to show his dominance here? Is he trying to snake away here from the rest of the field here? But Thurston trying to, keep headway here with this number 9 machine. But Chavari just been borderline dominant this whole race here. Trying to get away. Trying to keep everything underneath. Trying to keep stuff tidy. But further back, you'll see some side-by-side action. Bergensmeyer trying to take the P6 spot away from the 76 machine. Justin Rott trying to hold on top. A little bit of contact between the two. And that'll definitely give the spot to the 00. Here comes the 24 machine and Micah Walls. Trying to take advantage, but here comes Justin Rott underneath the 00 once again. Trying to put another fight towards that 00 to take that spot back, but see Jurgensmeyer back clear for P6. Further back, almost 3 wide. Steven Maggio trying to drive his way up to the field up. Now 1 spot from where he started back there in 17th. And that's the thing is if you get mired back in the traffic, it can be really, really easy. You just kind of, it's really hard to get around here and try to put yourself in a spot to where you can you know, make up time, right? If you're stuck behind someone who's slower and they're making it really hard to pass, all you're doing is kind of getting really held up by the driver racing you hard, right? And it can be somewhat difficult to drive your way through the field. Granted, we have seen some drivers do it again. You look at the 24 of Michael Walls. You look at the 44 AJ Hyder, who's already back up inside the top 10, inside the top 5, actually. You see potentially wrecking in, and it is the 30. Larry Miles stopped here in the turn 3 and 4, right in the middle. Gonna back that thing up. League Brandon machine there. He'll bring out the caution here. Once again, we'll take a look and see what happened here to this 30 machine. So down here in the 3 and 4. Ooh, just a huge drive down there in the, trying to get around the 55 there. Fidel Fabian, I believe. And just overcooked the corner there. Tries to keep it off the 55 and just loses the rear end there. And then you see him backing it up the track there, trying to give people space to get around in a safe manner there. So caution once again will wave here from Martinsville. Connor Trafari continues to hold on. So I had quite a few drivers come down pit road there that last caution. I'm interested to see. Yeah, here comes Justin Roth down pit road. I was about to say I'm interested to see. People are going to start to want to try to come down pit road here. You know, we're around, what, 130-ish to go, I think, right? I mean, we're probably in a position where we're almost good to make it to go on fuel. Some cars further on back. You see the 17. See the 42 of Roberts down pit side there. Pit stops underway there further on back. But Connor Trafari, I can't say it time and time again. I mean, just been so good. Tonight here from Martinsville has kept the track position, as you know, set the pace here from the paper clip, right? You know, Trafari came in needing to have a good result to, you know, kind of solidify himself into that championship 4, right? So, I mean, that championship 6, they're going into next week. And it's had a phenomenal race. You know, he was only 14 points above the cutoff. You know, he was in a spot to where if he had a bad race, he could potentially get bumped out by the 12 or maybe even the 36 if the 36 had a really good race. And the 36 is having a relatively good race. Just, he's not leading, right? Looks like Cody Rivera's right now back in P18. He did come down pit road underneath those caution laps there. So that's why he's a little bit further back than what we've seen throughout the race. As long as Connor can continue to lead here. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, we still have, you know, about 150 laps to 160 to go. He could still lose, you know, the most laps led bonus if that's a thing. So, I mean, Connor's got to continue to put it, you know, be on his A game here as we get back ready to go green. Lap 92 underway. We already see some dives here on the bottom. Micah Walls further back. Trying to make up some spots. Going to look underneath the 44 of AJ Hyder. These are the two drivers who have really driven their way up through the field, as well as the guy in front of him, the 00 of Jurgensmeyer, right? These are the three guys who have really either driven their way up through the field due to a bad qualifying effort or due to mistakes of their own here throughout the race there. Obviously, we saw Hyder earlier in the race get the outside wall, lose a bunch of track position, lose the handling on that car. But you see him. We've seen him come down pit road, try to get some of that damage fixed. And he's back up battling for the P5 position, going to get around the 00 of Jurgensmeyer. Then you look at Jurgensmeyer up 16 spots from where he started. Not the best qualifying effort, but back up inside the top 6. Then you look at Micah Walls. Got in the back of the 45, I believe. Gave himself an EO. Well, he's had to drive his way back to the field. Further on back, Amir Bascom looking underneath the 55 of Fidel Fabian. And Fidel, one of those guys with the older tires, trying to keep the track position, but some of these guys are on the older tires. So it's going to be Austin Doran, the first driver on these fresh Goodyear tires, right? And you're going to start to see him potentially drive his way through the field because these tires, you know, with the short track package, the tires do wear, I think, a little bit more than they used to here especially at Martinsville, right? So I'm interested to see, can Austin put the pressure on? He's gotten to the back end of this kind of 6-car train here in front of him. Once again, Connor, you've seen a little bit of a gap back to Thurston, and then Thurston a little bit of a gap back to Robinson, but Robinson further on back, just kind of sitting in line there, trying to probably just try to size each other up. But Austin, the first driver on those fresh Goodyear tires in that 52 machine. Did a good job driving back through the field after taking that car down pit side. I'm starting to see him put the moves on here, looking to the inside of the 24. Gonna try to keep it at least side by side here. We'll see if the 24 he'll jump up and back in front of the 52. But he's putting himself in a good spot to potentially try to grab the spot from Michael Walls in that 24 machine. Hasn't been able to put the corners together consistently there. You see him up in the outside wall. And battling further back outside the top 10. 27. Chris Downey trying to get around the 7 of Ethan Moreno. Moreno, a good recovery, right? Remember, we saw him. He was a lap down at one point, right? Got the lucky dog. He's gotten this car, for the most part, pretty fixed up here, and he's right outside the top 10, right inside the top 15. Is over the 727. Super upset out of turn 4 there. He'll have to give up that spot for now. We're gonna keep that car, that nose right to the bottom of the 7, trying to make the spot work. And Marina doing a good job giving him space on that bottom to race him cleanly. Battle further on up. Micah Walls underneath the 00 of Jurgensmeyer. He's getting the pressure from the 52, so you might start to think that he's going to try to have to start the fight to try to push in front of this 00. And it's something that I would say that it's not a bad thing for Jonathan here, but he is opening up his entry there, which is allowing some of these drivers to try to put their nose in there to try to, put him in a bad spot, I would say, right? And Jurgensmeyer is someone we know who can be fast. Obviously, not racing for a championship here in Season 4, but we know he's going to run up here and run up front. Michael Wall is someone who's also eliminated, but going to be up here inside this top 5 conversation throughout the race. So side by side for the P6 position here. Michael Walsh has not been able to complete the pass. The 00 trying to fight tough on the top. That top side's always going to have a little bit of a better run off the corner. Issue was it's super easy though. You see, I think the 00 just slightly overdrove, 1 and 2 there, which is allowing the 24 to stay side by side. A little bit of a lock up there for the 00. And it's super frustrating, having to fight on the top because it's not the preferred line, but it is a line that you can defend on because we've seen, Micah not be able to make the pass work here. And he is a talented driver in its own right. Micah is super good in really any car where he gets in and has not been able to get this pass done on the 00. It's hard to pass her at these short tracks, to be fair. Here comes Doran. Austin in the 52. He saw the hole open up on the top side. He's going to try to make the pass work on the top here with these fresh Goodyear tires. Caution. Like Justin Rott around here in the back. We'll take a look and see what happened here to that number 76 machine. This gets into the back of the 23. And he'll go around as well. So Nathan just trying to hold on there, gets around, but caution will wave here. A pretty decent, good green flag run there. So that's a start, right? So now the question is, who comes down pit road now, right? You see potentially the 9 and the leaders come down pit side here, as we do. Here comes Connor Travari. Here comes Thurston. Here's the rest of the leaders here who are going to come down pit road. They'll probably drag most of the field with them. I could see some of these drivers who pitted in, you know, the on that lap 70 mark, staying out here trying to, you know, get themselves back around. Yeah, you look like the 52, of Austin. He's got by far the freshest tires out of the guys who stayed out, right? We'll see who wins this race off pit road. Will be the 9. Come back across the stripe. AJ Hyder will jump a couple spots up. James Thurston back to P3. Remember, these guys are going to start, it looks like 15th on back, so top 15 stayed out. So this will allow Austin Doran to get some laps under his belt. Another driver eliminated from the playoffs here. From the chase, my apologies. We're going to get some laps led here. See Bascom back there, P2. And the 45. So if the 45 can somehow, I don't know if these guys can make it on fuel or what, but if he can hold on here and get a good finish, he could point his way into something. If something would happen to maybe Ollie Reeves in the 31, maybe even Chavari. Obviously Chavari, this is going to be the first time he hasn't been up inside that top 3 all race long. So he's going to have to figure out how to get around these guys in a clean manner without tearing his car up, right? If the 45 can keep the track position and kind of bank on maybe the 31 or the 9 to potentially get caught up in some stuff, he could potentially point his way in. Obviously, there's 31 cars tonight who have shown up. I'm not sure how bonus points will work here in the SAAC series, but we'll have to see here. But it's going to be Austin Doran. He's going to lead. He's going to be probably the first driver that's not the 9 to lead us back to green. Just like that already, you see the 45. Aggressive to try to get around this 21. Going to try to put his nose in there. Going to back off for now. Is the 20 of James Bomar around in the back. See him. Burping, wrong way here in the turn. 3 and 4. We'll have to take a gander to see what happened here to this number 20 machine. Looks like potentially got some help. See Marty around here. We'll back it up here on the replay system. Oh, not really. I think he just thought he might have been clear of the 7. Unfortunately, wasn't. Hooks himself off the nose of the 7 machine, up into the outside wall, going into 3 and 4. Just trying to clear himself, to set himself up for the corner, but unfortunately, the 7 was just barely there. And he'll go around there, bringing out another caution. I wish we had a caution counter button here for there. We might have to talk to Andrew Schulte, our, designer here for our tickers here on the network to see if maybe we can get a caution counter tonight, because it's definitely been, I would say, north of 10 cautions tonight. Obviously, we expect cautions here on the sim here when we come to the paperclip. But, I'll say this. We did get a decently long green flag run there before we had these couple of cautions who have gotten in the way. James Bormar did not make it out of pit road in time. He's going to get trapped a lap down here. Still see lots of damage on the 20 machine as well. Tough break for James. I mean, I know he can be quick, Luckily, he's 91 points above the cutoff. Just needs to basically show up here and he'll be locked into the final sixer coming in the next week. About the sound of things, I was told that potentially they might postpone the race there, not to next week, but the week after here, because they want to make sure that all their championship drivers want to be able to make it. And by the looks of it right now, it looks like the 9 is going to be well capable of locking himself into the playoffs. And I was told off camera that Connor Shafari cannot make it to the race if it was next week. So they might have to postpone a race here. But regardless, back green, Austin Doran back to the jump here. Start lap 121. He gets a good jump. He's starting to get away a little bit from the rest of the field here. Do some side-by-side racing further on back. And it is these guys on the fresher tires. You see the 0-2 right in front of the 9 of Chafari. Faber Burns, that 0-2 machine, trying to hold on, trying to keep this 9 behind him. And you see consistently this 9 literally almost, pushing him. But caution will leave one more time. Few cars around here. That's the 17 and the 13 of Zola and George back here out of turn 2. So another caution will leave for you. We'll have to take another look to see what happened further back here between the 13 and the 17. See this number 13 McDonald Chevy Camaro. Just got the bumper put to him by the 12, and unfortunately the 17 nowhere to go. Remember, Zola not racing for a championship. That 12, 9 points out, trying to look in. So the 12 needs to have a good race here, Christopher, to try to drive his way through the field here, to try to lock himself in on points. So I'm not going to say that was warranted, but also, the 12 is trying to drive his way into this top 6 here. 9 points out. He comes in P7 in the points. We looked at that earlier in the broadcast. And he's trying to beat the 31. Ollie Reeves. Ollie back there in P25, P26. He's getting an EOL, actually. So, if Ollie has a bad race, or even just a subpar race, I think that 12 can drive his way into this final 6. If he can just, be up inside maybe the top 10, top 15. If Ollie has a bad night, remember, he only needs to finish at the very minimum 9 spots ahead of this 31. And with 30 cars out on track, everybody's still racing for the most part. It's doable. We have 29 cars on the lead lap. And then you go back to the 6 of Brady Floyd, 2 laps down, and then Shockey Tarpley back there in 31st. He's 29 laps down. We're still on track, still trying to get some stuff done. Wyatt Roberts still down track side here. He'll go a lap down. Lots of damage to that 42 machine. Light should go off on the pace car this time by, which means we'll be going green. We approach as we just crossed the halfway point, actually. As we've been live here for about just over an hour and 15 minutes here on the Twitch side of things, and we've been live here on YouTube just over 40 minutes. So for everybody who isn't aware, we did miss the first kind of 30 laps there on the YouTube side of things. We do plan on maybe uploading the Twitch VOD up to YouTube so you guys can get all the action, look back and see what's going on. But we do apologize for the miscommunication on the YouTube side of things, but nonetheless, 52. Back to the point here. Lead us back to green to start lap 127, 128. It's wrecking in the back already. Jurgensmeyer looks like around. Oh, wow. It's a 3-car wreck here. The 27, the 00. I thought I saw the 36 involved as well. A big one in the back there. We'll definitely have to take a look and see what happened here on this restart. We're going to the restart. Looks like just a little bit of a checkup. Oh man, this was right in front of everybody else. So this Jurgensmeyer just kind of fell in his lap. So we'll look at maybe the 27. It looks like kind of maybe one of the main culprits. No, it looked like it was the 38 potentially. 36. Brody Ramirez. Just contact from the 7, and then nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers. Just, you know, especially in the corners. The corners are kind of blind here at Martinsville, so it's hard to see when drivers are going around outside of, you know, maybe drivers calling it out like, hey, you know, there's a wreck here in the turn 2. And so everybody just kind of pile in, nowhere to go. So that, you know, grabbed about 4 or 5 cars there, unfortunately. See them come down pit road here. While we get the opportunity to here, we just eclipsed the halfway point. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break here on the channel. Get everything reset here and get ready to go. Ready, back green here. So we'll be right back on the other side of this commercial break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Getting ready to go back green here from Martinsville. Gonna be Austin Dorian. Caution will be delayed one more time. Pace car will come back out, potentially. Yeah, so we did delay the caution here. We'll bring the pace car one more time back out. Because now we'll go green. So everybody will get stacked up here one more time. Get to start lap 134. Is now green flag will be out. Austin Dorian back to the point. Austin Dorian. Caution again. I just don't think we had everybody stacked up in time, so I think this might have been an admin caution here trying to get everybody stacked together. I don't see anybody around or stopped. It just, even when we went green right there, it looked like everybody wasn't really where they needed to be. It looked like there was a lot of separation here, getting ready to go back to the green flag. So they'll throw the caution one more time. Get everybody stacked up properly here for another restart. But Cody, maybe there was a caution. Looks like Cody Rivera's got an EOL. Maybe he was the potential caution here, potentially. I'm unsure. He was, maybe he sped down Parrot. I'm not sure. Very interesting. But caution's out one more time here from Martinsville, and definitely a chaotic race in its own right. Connor Chavari up here. Maybe he's the lucky dog, it looks like. I had no idea that Chavari went a lap down. But yeah, he's back here in 22nd. One lap down here. I mean, look at what has changed here, right? He went from leading the most laps tonight here to a lap down, a lot of damage on that number 9 machine. And that's just how your race can change so quickly here from the paperclip, right? You get put in a bad spot, you restart around someone that you don't want to, and you get trapped a lap down. Luckily for him, he gets the lucky dog, but look at all that damage on the front end of that machine. Granted, it is Martinsville. Obviously Aero is nothing we're going to be talking about tonight, but obviously that's got to affect the handling of that car just a little bit. It's got to, right? Granted, we know Connor's a fast driver, and he probably knows how to navigate that damage to at least get that car around to probably a 95% of what that car used to be, but still lots of damage. An uphill battle for now Connor, right? He's in a spot now to where he could potentially get bumped out. I'm not saying it's a good spot here. 14 points above the cutoff. He would have to have the 12 have a really good race tonight. Granted, the 12 is up in 7th. He's doing a phenomenal job trying to put himself in a good spot. They race his way in, but back ready to go green. I mean, once again, Austin Doran back to the flag. Amir Basco and Drady Robinson. We top 3. 51. Steven Maggio, he's worked his way up inside the top 4. A good comeback for this 51 driver. We saw him not really been able to crack inside the top 10, but those cautions came out as the 30 around in the back. Miles loses it off the turn 2, and he'll go around. Caution away one more time. We'll stack everybody back up once again here from the paperclip. We'll take a look and see what happened to the 30. It looks like just maybe overdrove entry there. Take a look back and see what happened. Just going in the 3 and 4. Gonna follow that 51. Maggio. Yeah, just overdrives entry there in the 1 and 2. Backs up into the outside wall. And it looks like it triggered the iRacing yellow. I'm not sure if we have race control here in this league, but regardless, yellow was thrown. And we'll bring the pace car once again back out here. I think the pace car, he might low-key have Kanu in a spot where the pace car might be leading the most laps tonight here from Martinsville. It's you know, it's definitely been a chaotic race in its own right as we're approaching 100 to go here from Martinsville here to end the round of 9 for the eliminator chase. And what a dynamic's going to be, right? We go from the paperclip, and then we go back to the high banks of Homestead, right, for the championship finale. Obviously, I think Homestead is a great place, especially if you're running these next gens to call the finale home. And I'm super excited to see you how the championship finale happens here in 2026, as it makes its debut in the next gen era for the NASCAR championship weekend as well. So obviously Homestead has always put on phenomenal races in the past there with the next gen car. Obviously we've seen really good battles with the O'Reilly machines and the trucks, right? It's just really good racing. So I'm really interested to see how the championship finale in November is for the NASCAR weekend. But obviously next week we go to Homestead here to end season 4 to crown a champion here. Of course, we got to get through this last 105 laps here from Martinsville. It's once again, it's going to be the 52, the 21, and Andretti Robinson in that 45, rounding out your top 3. Back to green here to start lap 145. See some side-by-side further on back. AJ Hyder looking underneath the 51 of Maggio there for the P4 position. Trying to take that fast 4 spot away. But Maggio holding tough on the top, trying to get the momentum off the corner. He's side-by-side further back as well. Michael Wall's trying to make the move on the 12. And if I'm Christopher, right, try to mitigate the damage. Try to stop the bleeding, right? If there's a guy faster, maybe try to let him go in a safe manner, right? But you can't afford to, get someone to force you on the top and just, people start the freight train here late in the race. There's not a lot of laps to go here. You can't afford to give up spots here if you want a shot to race your way into the chase. They're on back, some more battling. The 28 and the 23 side by side. In the 1 and 2. Trying to make some spots up here. Comes the 31, Ollie Reeves. Remember, someone else who was running up front towards the start of the race, but fell towards the back outside the top 20. Now he starts to drive his way back through the field. Here's, oh man, super upset further back here. There goes the 55 of Fidel. He's going to save it. No, the 6 around. Here comes the 49 around. Caution will wave once again. That looked like just an accordion, just people trying to get away from each other as people tried to wreck. So this was the 9 of Travari, got upset there, and that also upset the 94, and then Travari just into the back of the 55. And then the 6, I don't know if he was trying to get out of the way there, but on the apron, he loses it, grabs the 49, the Straw Hacker, my apologies, and he'll go around in the 49. You see Jurgensmeyer back there in the 00, once again involved in another one. Yeah, just kind of like a stack up there. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm interested who they're going to put the fault at for that caution, because it looked like just kind of an accordion and people just trying to pick up for each other. And ultimately, like, the first contact that was made was from the 9 of Safari, but it didn't look like it was intentional. It looked like it was kind of just a racing deal up here in the booth, at least. I'm interested if they'll give Travari an EOL for that. That would also put a big burden on him, because he was slowly driving back through the field. And if he gets that EOL, having to drive all the way back up, it's going to definitely put a burden on here. As, I mean, we've crossed the threshold. We're underneath the 100 laps to go here. And obviously, unfortunately, we've seen quite a few cautions tonight. The more we pace, the less it gives Connor an opportunity to drive through the field if he is black flagged here. Looks like Chris Downey gets a black flag. No. These are all, I believe, maybe pit road penalties there that are being cleared as we speak. So it looks like right now they're going to let Connor keep the spot, which I think that's a fair assessment, right? It just looked like kind of a racing deal, and fortunately Connor was the first one to kind of get to the scene there, make the contact. I wouldn't penalize Connor for just kind of being at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Some drivers, you see Jurgens behind that 00. Get back right out in front of the pace car. He'll stay. No, he actually is 1 lap down. There's quite a few drivers now who are trapped a lap down here. The 7 of Ethan Marino, the Clan George, Faber Burns, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, all 1 lap down. You'll see Cody Rivera in the 36, 2 laps down. Chris Downey, 3 laps down there. And we have some drivers who have called in the night here early. Brady Floyd in the 6 machine, and Gino Mero in the 46 has called in the night here from Martinsville. So I've seen enough here. I'm going to call it a night and get ready for next week for Homestead. Obviously, those 2 drivers not in contention to race for a championship. So I guess if you're not having a good time, I guess you can't really blame the driver for wanting to go and do something else here. But we've seen this before, right? We saw Connor Chafari. He dominated the first half of this race. And now look at this. Austin Doran, he once again leads us back to green to start with lap 155. He'll lead us back to the stripe. The driver of the 52, caution out one more time. I don't see anybody abnormally slow here. I guess we'll wait to see who gets the potential penalty here. We can take a look and see what happens there. I didn't really see anybody drop through the order, because that's something I always try to look at here in our live timing scoring up here in HPTV booth. We can't see a specific thing on the session events tab of what happened. I try to look through to see if anybody like plummeted through the field. Drivers down pit road. Mostly drivers down outside the top 20 here. You look at Wyatt Roberts down pit side here in this 42 machine. I mean, he's had a rough night. I haven't even shown this 42 machine all race long. But a rough night for Wyatt. Look at all the damage on this machine. Okay, we'll come down pit side here. Try to get some damage fixed. Try to just continue to try to limp it around here. And we're slowly closing down on laps to go. If you could just be there at the end, I feel like you have a shot to at least pull out a good finish. Some more drivers. You see the 13 back there. So Connor Trafari right now, back here in P16, right? I'm trying to look at these kind of cutoff storylines here coming, to the close of this race. Connor Trafari back here in 16th, right? You look at Ollie Reeves, he's up there in 10th, so a good spot for him as he's the first on the dropping board there. And then the 12 of Christopher Robinson, he's the first one out looking in. He's back here in 7th, right? So he's the furthest up, but unfortunately for him, Ollie Reeves only 3 spots back, so that only drops the points down to -6 versus dropping it in. Obviously the 12, if he can make up a couple spots on these restarts here, try to extend the gap here to the 31, I think that's a big prerogative here. We've seen caution after caution here from Martinsville. It's gonna be, I mean, I'm not gonna say a green flag run isn't imminent, but I would bank on a caution more than a green flag run, as we've seen, from time and time again. This driver's not being able to keep it together here, but you'll see the 52 once again out of turn 2 lead us back into lap 60. Will foul throughout, the top 10. Hear me. He's worked his way back inside the top 10. Get further back, James Balmar. We know he's quick. We know he can get some lap time down. Is Rekin once again further up in front of the pack. I think that was the 52 that went around. Doran not in the lead, to say the very least here. Take a look and see what happened potentially to your race leader. Did he get the bumper put to him potentially? Yeah, it looks like that. The 21 got in the back of the 52 there. Austin kind of got out of the way there, luckily. And then the 51 just completely. Oh man, and that's the 45 who also gets caught up in there. 51 completely just shunts the 52 out of the way there. Yeah, Steven was a little aggressive there. They try to get back up. But unfortunately, that'll throw another yellow here. I didn't really see an aggressive bump at, like an aggressive block out of the 52 or anything there. It just looked like Steven wasn't willing to, you know, give him a break there, and got in the back of the 52 there. So, and I feel bad for Austin there, because it was kind of, he got moved for the lead, and then right after he got moved for the lead, he got moved for P2, P3, right? He's gonna come down pit road here. Got to get some damage fixed. Going to get a fresh set of Goodyear tires here underneath the 100 to go. But all that track position loss is going to be crucial for this 52. Obviously, Austin not in contention here for a championship. For him, I think he was just trophy hunting. He wanted to go out and try to get a win here at Martinsville. Unfortunately, going to lose all that track position. Looks like he's currently sitting back there in P21. So, looks like he'll gain a spot here. As it looks like the 45. No, the 45 is just blinking. Never mind. I thought maybe the 45 might have called it a night there, but no. Looking back here, we're talking about the 12. He gains a couple spots there. He's up to P5. But once again, he went up 3 spots, but he went up 2 spots, but so did the 31 of Reeves, with everybody coming down pit road or getting moved out of the way there. The 12's got to make a cushion here, and the issue is he's got to make up 9 spots. 9 points with the 31 in 8th. So you got to feel bad, right? The 12's doing everything he can, put himself in a good spot, but unfortunately the 31's on his A game as well. But now it's going to be Amir Bascombe back to the line here, hooping that Sunoco 21 back to the front. He'll lead us into 1 and 2. So we've seen some new guys up towards the front of the field now. Obviously, Bascombe up in first. Steven Maggio back to P2. Caution out again. The 28 looks like around here in the back. Brad Serwinski in the 28 machine around here out of turn 4. We'll once again take a look and see what happened to this number 28 machine. When we get out of around here, we'll back it up just a little bit. Be nice if we can go to the right camera angle here. Yeah, Connor Travari. I mean, once again, I think this is more of a racing deal. There was technically room down there. Granted, the 28 you knew was going to turn down the track most likely to start the corner, and the 9 was there, right? So, I mean, it's kind of, a catch-22 there, right? If you're the 9, right? Do you put your nose there and put someone in a bad spot, knowing that he probably has to turn down and try to make the corner, and potentially put yourself in the spot to get a near well, right? And really upset your race. Caution waves here once again. Approaching 80 laps to go here in tonight's race. Everybody in the live chat, if you wouldn't mind. Who are you rooting for tonight's race? Who do you think can get it done here from the paperclip? Obviously, a very chaotic broadcast tonight. Very chaotic race. Let's back off on the pace car. It'll take the hard left turn down pit side. Once again, Amir Bascombe, Steven Maggio, AJ Hyder in the 44. Gonna around at your podium spots here as we are ready to go back into the restart zone here from Martinsville. We're back green. Everybody being really defensive to get down to the bottom early here out of these top three. Does not want to give up the top. And you saw AJ Hyder. He was the one driver who didn't, and you see him already. Essentially going to... I thought it was going to get taken bottom there, but you actually see him look to the bottom of the 51. Steven Maggio. Everybody cordial right now. Trying to stay single file up here inside this top 5. Further on back, James Bomar, Connor Trifari, 2 big hitters going at it here. When you look at Bomar, second in points, we look at Trifari, who dominated this race. Ollie Reeves off the bumper as someone goes around. Caution will wave, and that's going to be huge for the points. Granted, I don't see a lot of damage on the 31, but that's a lot. Big loss of track position for this 31 machine. Caution will wave. And I think he might have got a little bit of help. You see him to the inside of the 68. Jumps back in line here. Oh, no, he didn't. He just kind of lost it on his own there. Just the way he abruptly spun around there, I thought maybe he got bumped, but no. Ollie just kind of sent it a little bit too deep into the corner, and unfortunately, self-inflicted right there. Ollie will go around. And that's exactly what that 12 wanted to see. I hate to be like that commentator first guy, but that 12 needed to see the 31 get caught up in some incidents there. This time, if it's of his own accord. And he's all the way back to 24th now. We'll look at here at how his race has gone. Up to 4th at one point, but all the way back here in 24th after that spin. So an uphill battle here is the laps continue to tick down. Looks like the 21 came down pit road here, potentially. Yeah, Amir Bascom counting down pit side. He's going to give away the race lead. Come down and probably take his final pit stop of the night. But I'll hand the race lead over to Steven Maggio. AJ Hyder, Micah Walls, Christopher Robinson, your top 4. I mean, and looking at the points live, right? This is going to be huge for the 12 if he can stay inside this top 5, right? Ollie has to drive his way through the field, obviously. And he stayed out here, I believe, so. Looks like he's going to restart P20. He'll get 4 spots back from some of these drivers who came down pit road, had to take extended pit stops. But he's back in 20th right now. He needs, if the 12 would finish where he is right now in 4th, the 31 would have to finish in 13th to tie in 12th. And I don't know what would be the tiebreaker. It'd probably be like the best finish, maybe. I don't know. We'd have to see, but Steven Maggio, pedal to the metal, back to green here, side by side for P2. Here comes the 24. But Michael Wallace trying to make the move on AJ Hyder. Caution! The 94 looks like involved. He's around here in turn 1 and 2 once again. Caution will wave. I'll take another gander. On what happened to this 94? Gets into the back of the 55. And just a big stack up there. You see James Thurston in the back of the 30. The 30 gets back up to the 94. Well, try to ride on board with Thurston. Thurston, I'll say this, has not been able to drive through the field like I imagined he would after coming down pit side here, right? Take a look at the replay here. Off the nose of James Thurston. I mean, frankly just gets in the back at 82 and kind of forces 82 up. So very interesting to see nonetheless. Caution will wave. Steven Maggio keeps the race lead. I believe AJ Hyder kept that P2 position away from the 24 as they tried to go side by side before the caution came out. Yeah, it looks like it will give the 44 the spot at the time of caution. So we're approaching 50 to go here. You know, obviously we've ran quite a bit of caution laps tonight. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what is the 30. So the 31 is dropped a lap down. Wow. That's not what you want to see if you're Ollie. You'll see him try to let these lead lap cars down, back around. I don't know, maybe he was trying to get some damage fixed, wasn't aware of where the pace car was or something. But that's unfortunate for that 31. Trapped a lap down. Granted, he is the first car one lap down, it looks like right now. He'll have to battle it out for the lucky dog with him and the 36 here of Cody Ramirez. And these are two drivers who are, you know, battling it out to get in, right? They're 7th and 8th in points, so granted, you know, no, they're not 7th and 8th. They're 6th and 8th, so one is in barely, one is out by a decent chunk here. And technically, actually, they are 7th and 8th because Ollie, if we would calculate the points right now, is technically in 7th as Christopher Robinson up there in P4 has jumped him in points. If we would, you know, rain shorten the race or something would happen, the 12 would get the spot there. But Steven Maggio back to the spot here. We're back green. Once again, you see the 24 and that 12. Super aggressive to try to get to the bottom here early in the 1 and 2. Trying to keep the spots, trying to make up spots potentially. Look back at the 60. He's trying to make some spots up here. See the downshift. We haven't really talked about really how you want to drive around this track with how many cautions have come out tonight. If you look here, everybody downshifting, down in the 3rd here in the corners. We'll just shift up in the 4th with how short the gearing is, but down and in the heavy braking zone, down in the 3rd. Just try to, ideally, I feel like the most generic line is going down there and wrapping that bottom line, right? Not getting on the curbing too much. You don't really see a lot of drivers on the sim who will go down there and actually wrap the curbing like you'd see like Ryan Blaney do and have a lot of success with in real life, right? You don't see a lot of drivers get down there and actually touch the paint. We saw some drivers try this race, right? Granted, if it was on purpose or not, and had some mistakes and caused some cautions tonight. So you see that battle up there for P2 off the bumper along the kind of the roof cam here of the 60 machine. They try to battle it out for that P2 position, and that 51 has not been able to get away from that 24 and that 44 of Hyder and Walls there. He just kind of sitting right there, right in front of these those two battling it out for the 2nd place. But the 60 trying to run down the 12. The 12 has started to fade a little bit compared to that top 3. And now Nicholas in the 60 machine trying to get around the 12. Gonna make a move to the bottom here. Gonna get his nose in there, but the 12 shut off that and make a late block there on the exit of the corner. Trying to keep every spot he can as he overshoots the corner. That's going to allow the 60 to get side by side, but with that being said, that 12 should have a pretty decent off. And he somehow keeps the spot. 60 will keep that P5 position. Christopher is still in P4. Looking back at the battle for this lucky dog, Ollie Reeves has gone 2 laps down now. So Cody Ramirez is now the sole possession of the lucky dog as long as he's not caught up in the wreck. But this 31 has gone 2 laps down now. This is potentially huge for this point standings here, because right now he's definitely not in when it comes to racing for a championship next week, right? Sitting back here in 26, there's no shot, right? He came in 9 above, and you know the driver he's racing is in P4 right now. And back at Connor Trafari, he drove himself back inside the top 10, looking for P6 on Justin Rott. We approach 50 laps to go here from the paperclip. Now we're getting to the point now where I feel like people are just trying to get the race underway here. I would say that the aggressiveness isn't there. Like you look back at James Bomar, he's going to try to make the pass on the 23 of Nicholas. And he makes it work here. He's up to the P8 position. But I feel like people are a little bit more passive. If you have a run, and you get to the inside, I'm just going to give you the space, right? I'm not going to put you in a bad spot. I think just as much as everybody at home is watching, as much as I am up in the booth, I think everybody just wants to stay green here. Especially if you're someone like James Ballmark. Especially if you're someone like the 9 who we're looking at right now. Connor Travari trying to make the pass here for P6 on Rott. Right, I think Travari, even though he's got a lot of damage, he's still hustling this thing around up inside the top 6 now. Oh, super loose out of the corner. Here comes a crossover from the 76. The Advanced Auto Parts, Dark Horse, and Chevrolet Camaro. A little bit of contact between the two there. But then battling it out so aggressively there, that's allowed the 20. Bomar starting to reel these two back in. Trafari finally clears the 76 there. And he tried to get away. A little bit of a lockup there on that left front. Right, we'll put the bumper to the back of the 9. And he's not going to give up on this fight. He wants to get the best finish possible. Obviously, Justin eliminated from the playoffs there as he's 185 points back, right? From Trafari. I mean, from Thurston. But since he's mathematically eliminated, I cannot see how many points back he is from Ollie Reeves, who I can kind of do like simple math here. It looks like maybe 62 points out, maybe. Doing, you know, rough math here in my head. Trafari up inside the top 6 now. Looking further on up. Once again, we talked about it before. Maggio has not been able to get away. He's got Michael Walls back there in P2. Caution will wave again. Like Austin Doran potentially around. Lots of damage to that number 52 machine. I saw him drop through the field here, so we'll see if he can show us what happened. Yeah, off the bumper at the 21. Looks like trying to give space to the 55, the 21. Gives him a little shot there, and he'll go around here on the front stretch. Caution will wave. Lights back on the pace car. It should be going off this time by. We'll be starting here with 44 to go. So lights should go off on the pace car this time by, and we will be going back green with 43 to go. Everybody get back single filed here. Saw the leader, Agio, come down pit road. Did not feel comfortable being able to make it on fuel. But he had to take the hard left turn down pit road. He will come out. '16th place here. So it'll be interesting to see. And now that'll hand the race over. Michael Wallace, he'll lead his first laps of the race. Coming out of turn 3 and 4, back inside the restart zone. It's going to be Walls, Hyder, but Limick back there into 60. Good restart further on back. James Wilmar trying to put pressure on 76 Arai. He's going to jump to the outside. Now inside here for the 20 machine. The 76 and the 20 side by side. You see further up. All right, Jafari looking underneath the 60. They'll try to go side by side. You see with a good run off the corner. We're clear. Further on up, Walls trying to stay away, but Hyder putting the pressure on. Caution. Like potentially Steven Masher around in the back. Well, from race leader, they're all already outside the top 20. If you got help here going into 3 and 4. Wow. Just lost on his own. I think just he kind of abruptly tried to turn to the left to potentially make a move on that car in front. I believe that was the 27. Kind of lost the handling of the car there and spun it around there. Keeps it back going relatively clean. But that was still enough to throw the caution here from Martinsville. We've officially crossed the 2-hour mark in tonight's broadcast. We appreciate everybody for coming in and stopping by. Obviously, our first time covering the San Andreas Auto Club Cup Series. Obviously, KBRN could not make it tonight. So they dialed up the number tonight here for us up here in HVTV booth to come up here and call tonight's race, the penultimate race of the season here in Season 4 for these SAAC Cup Series drivers. If you're new to the channel, we'd appreciate if you guys would subscribe to the High Velocity YouTube channel, as obviously we're doing stuff all the time over here. Obviously, tomorrow we'll be back here for the AWC Pro Series as they close the chapter to Season 20. Wyatt Roberts trying to hold on for his first championship in the AWC Pro Series. And we'll go into Saturday for the ISNF Cup Series as they head to Nashville Super Speedway for the penultimate race of their season as well. As Thomas Flynn tries to hold on for his first championship in the Cup Series there. And around the corner there for Monday's UIS Sunday Motors Truck Series heads into Darlington. We have Henry Kalhoff, Tyler Helms, bound it out for the regular season points lead. And then I guess around the corner potentially, we were asked if Connor makes it into the championship tonight. We're told he cannot make it in, so we're asked if we're available in 2 weeks' time. We will be calling the championship finale here from Homestead Miami Speedway here for the San Andreas Auto Club Cup Series. So be interesting to see if we can get some more opportunities up here to, interact with these guys and potentially call the championship race here for season number 4. But regardless of that, we're approaching 35 laps to go. It's going to be Michael Walls, AJ Hyder, Nicholas Budlimick in the 60. Back to the green flag here as we head into turn 1 and 2. Everybody single file, top 6 on out. First battle is going to be the 23 and Fidel Fabian. Back there, we're side by side. The 23 got around. 55 Fabian there is now 3 wide. Here comes the 82 Thurston. Trying to drive his way back through the field here. Going to try to make it side by side with the 00. Will get back in line. He's up inside the top 10 for the first time in a while. Caution will wave. The 02 around here, as well as the 52 of Austin Doran. Austin led quite a few laps tonight, and then unfortunately he's gone back here further in the pack and has just not been able to catch a break. Take a look further on back to see what happened here with these drivers in the back. The 02. So this is probably further up here by the looks of it. 94. A little bit of net code contact between him and the 68 Schumacher there, and nowhere to go further on back there. Just a complete roadblock. The 52 round to 13 involved in this as well. So you crossing the screen there, the 02 who we saw initially. And some net code contact between Drewy there, and it just kind of stacks up everybody else behind. They tried to react, and unfortunately kind of didn't do it in the best way, and the caution will wave once again. And for anybody who missed the first 40 laps of tonight's race, be sure to go over to twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13 as we covered it over there. Obviously, we had a malfunction on the YouTube side of things, but luckily we caught it in time thanks to the help of the drivers and obviously the live chat telling us that we needed to actually hit the go live button here over on High Velocity TV. But if you guys want to see what happened the first 40 laps plus a little bit of the pre-race, make sure to go over to twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. I'll even go out of my way to grab the link for you guys here and put it in the live chat if you guys are interested in seeing what happened the first couple laps here. But getting ready to go back green flag racing. The 24 of Micah Walls back to the point here to start. 29 laps to go here from Martinsville. We'll follow further on back, but here comes Budlimick. He's going to get in the back of Connor Jafari. Jafari, lots of damage already. Going to get some more there as the 60. Tries to drive it in, trying to make up the spot. Caution will wave and some more damage to the 9 machine. Looks like that 60 just overdrove it. Tried to be ambitious, trying to get down here into the corner. And just completely misjudged the corner there. And the 9 around, you'll see the 60 around further in the back here. I think he was still trying to collect the car here, potentially. They tried to squeeze 4 wide on exit. They got into the left rear of the 60, and he'll be stopped here right out of turn 4. Luckily, I don't think he gets hit by anybody else. But, yeah, it just looks like as soon as he tried to make the move to try to put pressure on the 9, the car just lost handling there. You saw him just trying to get it locked down. Unfortunately, Connor Chavari, the victim of all that mess there, he'll go all the way to the back once again. he sits back here in P25. We'll see Connor come down, pair out here, try to get some of this damage fixed. Obviously, we've seen him with damage basically the whole race, and he's been pretty competitive. So I don't really know how much this affected his car that much. I'm gonna say the one thing I'm a little bit worried about is he did back it into the wall pretty hard. That could affect the rear end steering damage, right? And obviously, front end steering damage can be manageable, but rear end steering damage can really upset the way this car wants to handle throughout the rest of the race. So I'm gonna be interested to see how this 9 will come out and how it will race for the remainder of this kind of 25 lap shootout here from Martinsville. You see him not really taking any damage. He's going to come down, take another set of Goodyear tires, and put the stickers on and come back out. And I'm guessing he's trying to see how this car somewhat drives up the pace there, but he'll be back in P23, right? And this puts, you know, the ball back into the court of the 12 of Christopher Robinson, right? You know, he was only 14 points behind 14 points behind the 9, right? So yeah, less the 31 who's done, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see as we see the green flag once again. Micah Walls back to the point, 25, now 24 laps to go. Here comes AJ Hyder on the top side. He's gonna have some pressure from the 76 of Justin Rott. They'll jump back in line there, but further on back, Straw Hacker in the 28. Battling it out here right outside the top 10. A little bit of tire smoke up ahead. Everybody trying to use up this car the best of their ability here. Only 24 to go, not a lot of laps left. So you see the 28 lock it up there, getting in the back of the 49. Everybody keeps it cordial for now. Everybody trying to get single file, but once again, further upside, James Thurston trying to make up these spots side by side with the 23 of Nicholas. Gonna try to make the move work here. Gonna make the pass work, trying to run down to 00 now of Jurgensmeyer. See James Bomar, he's made his way up inside the top 4 as he's looking underneath the 78. I mean, the 76 is caution will wave one more time. I'll find who this was potentially. Ollie Reeves with still some more damage. We'll see. Maybe he can show us the way. It was kind of further down the pack here. Yeah, it was Ollie Reeves in the back. I guess an unlucky guess for me. It looks like some beating and banging up at front. It's Connor Trapari again in it. And there's the 31 as well caught up. Steven Maggio involved. Caution will wave here underneath, 20 to go. As we continue to run out these pace laps, we're gonna continue to chomp down on, you know, how many laps we're gonna have left for green flag racing here. I'm unsure of how many green white checkers we have for tonight's race. Most leagues usually have around 3, right? So, but I believe we should have some overtimes in our back pocket if we would need them. So now we're really looking at, I think Ollie Reeves he still has an opportunity. He's back on the lead lap, right? 17 to go. He's going to need a lot to go his way. Looking at the 31 here. But it's still technically not over for this 31 team. And he's a lot to go his way here. And also for Trafari, right? Technically, they're out, which is not a good sign, right? I think right now, technically, actually, Trafari would be tied with the 12 of Robbins up here, who is sitting up here in P10. Ollie Reeves needs to get some more spots here. A lot more spots, honestly, right? To get himself back up. Ollie needs to probably be up around... What did we say? He's 9 points back. He needs to be at least 19th right now. He's sitting back here in 22nd. So it's not too much of a task, right? For him to get back up there. But it's still a very tight points battle to see who gets that potentially last spot there in the eliminator chase around to 6 here. But once again, it's going to be back to Micah Walls, AJ Hyder. Now Justin Rott, you top 3 with 15 to go. A good jump out of these top 10, but really back. Wyatt Roberts in the fight here. And what a recovery. You know, with 15 to go, he's up fighting for a top 10 spot here. But he gets trapped on the top side. I'm looking back to 10 for 10th place here. We'll continue to pull up your ticker. Robinson back there in 10th. Looking back here at Ollie Reeves, my apologies. He's in 20th. It's going to be tight. Caution. The 26, I believe, around. Maybe the 28. That's the 28. Brad Suwensky. See what happened to Brad here in this number 28 machine here. I just tried to jump down in front of the 42, Roberts. Ooh, Stephen Masher with a really good avoidance there. Yeah, and I think he maybe thought he was clear there. Tried to jump down, trying to make the corner like the 42 wasn't there. Unfortunately, the nose was just there enough to grab the 28 there. And we'll spin him out and get him going back around. So looking back here, Connor Trafari in 20th. Ollie Reeves, he's in 19th right now, right? That is for the tie, right? And Christopher did not make up spots here on this restart. The bad thing for this 12 is I think he can maybe make up a spot or two, but there's going to be a time where like some of the faster guys are going to kind of kink him up if he does have the space, the speed to get back up. But if you're looking at, you know, like someone like the 31 or the 9 back here who are in the same camera shot nonetheless, I think they can get around some of these other guys a little bit quicker, especially Trafari, who has shown impeccable pace throughout the whole rest of the race here. Granted, there's not a lot of laps left to go, right? Even with the green-white checkers, you know, I mean, 3 laps here at Martinsville, outside of, you know, bumping people out of the way, it's not easy to pass. You can't, you know, put on fresh good tires and drive through the field in a green-white checker like you could see maybe at a 1.5 miles, or maybe at like maybe more not cookie cutter short track. Maybe if you go to like an Iowa or someone like that, maybe a Bristol, where you can, you know, actually use the momentum and the tires a little bit better than you would at, you know, a hard braking track like Martinsville, where there really isn't anywhere to go outside that bottom line where you paint that curbing, right? Gonna be interesting. We'll be getting ready to go back green here with 8 laps to go as the 24 Micah Walls leads us back to the point. Does AJ Hyder have anything for this 24? Can Justin Rott sneak up and get something? What about James Bomar coming in P2 in points, up inside the top 4 late in the race? Does he have anything for these top 3 guys? Back to green. 8 laps to go here from the paperclip. Wrecking. And that's the 12. Christopher Robinson in the back. And oh man. That is the worst thing that could probably happen in the 12. He was in a good spot. He was above the he was ahead of the game there when it came to points wise, and fortunately around he went here. We'll take a look and see if he got some help potentially. So look here back. Going to the green here. He's got the 52 behind. Oh yeah, just got a little bump. Lost the handling there. I wouldn't say that's even an aggressive bump from the 52 of Austin there. It was just enough to upset the handling of the 12 there. He overcorrected up into the outside wall. And you see lots of damage on this 12 machine there. Look at that left front. All caked in there. I believe he might have some wheel, maybe some wheel damage. Maybe not. Hard to tell. But a tough break for the 12. He was ahead of the game. He was doing a good job keeping that car clean. Unfortunately, you're going to have to come down pit road, give up all that track position that he's had all race long here. With underneath, you know, we're going to be going to green with probably 4 or 5 to go here. I would say 3 or 4 to go. And unfortunately for that 12, it looks like he will go a lap down too. I mean, everything's falling apart here. And he just towed. He towed back to pit road after exiting his box. I think he knows that there's not really a whole lot he can do if he's a lap down here. Such a tough break. He was there. He put himself in the right spot. For 242 laps, right? He was there and put himself in a good spot to race his way on points to get himself a championship, and unfortunately gets punted out of the way by I wouldn't say it was done blatantly, but unfortunately just gets bumped out of the way there. Can't handle the bump, and his championship looks like might be going up in smoke, because it looks like he has parked the car for the night here in the 12 machine. So you got to feel bad, right? But regardless, we got to focus on the race right now. We're going across out of turn 3 and 4, back into the restart zone. It's going to be a 3-lap dash here. Can Michael Walls hold on? Does AJ Hyder? Can anybody have anything for this 24? James Bomar, an aggressive send into turn 1 and 2. Going to try to get around the 76 here for this podium spot. Going to be side by side for P3. We get the 2 to go mark. And we keep it green for one more lap to make this race official. The 76 drives it in deep. Caution. Not quite. Almost half a lap away. But we see Shumi in the back here. Caution will wave here, and we will go into some NASCAR overtime. You see the 51 of also Steven Maggio around here in the back. We're so close to getting to that white flag, but I have to back it up one more. We're going to have to put a couple more laps here on tonight's race. Shumi. Oh, man, it's Trafari again. Bumper to the back of the 52. The 52 is trying to hold on to it. Barely clips the 68 of Schumacher, and caution will wave one more time here for Martinsville. And Michael Walls has to try to fend them off here one more time. Looks like Justin Rott was able to keep that P3 position. And then James Bomar, James Thurston rounding out your top 5. Thurston, a really good comeback here for this number 82 team. And we'll look at his stats here. Look at that. Lowest at 27th. Remember, he kind of had a differing pit strategy here earlier in the race and wasn't really getting up through the field as quickly as I expected him to. But he got the end when it matters, right? I guess it doesn't matter if you're racing for a top 5 at the end. You can sit and point at me and call me names all you want. So up here inside the top 5, you look at Jurgensmeyer behind here in P6, right? A really good recovery for him after a poor qualifying effort, up 16 spots. You look at James Bomar, up 22 spots from where he started. And I read in the chat here, you know, that he just botched qualifying, and he wasn't a fan of like the 4-lap average here. Like you'd kind of do it like an IndyCar style, like the Indy, you know, the Indy 500. You know, they did this for Martinsville, and that's the thing is if you, and what I imagine might happen is James might have just messed up one lap and it just kind of offset every other lap, right? And forced him to start deep in the field there, back there in 26th. So luckily, he was able to drive his way up through the field here, up inside the top 4. Trying to get the pass made there for the P3 spot on the 76 of Rott, but Rott was able to hold on here. And it's kind of contrary here because you're seeing some of the drivers up here not racing for a championship. You look at the 24 Michael Walls, eliminated from making it in, but you look at AJ Hyder, you look at James Beaumont, you look at James Thurston, right? They are, you know, kind of the cream of the crop looking at the points here. But once again, NASCAR overtime, Michael Walls leads us back to green. Justin Rott learned from Beaumont. Got to be aggressive on the restarts to try to get around. So Beaumont, a huge block on the 82 of Thurston. And that's going to check up Thurston. That's going to allow the 00 of Jerkensmeyer to get side by side as we get the white flag. As we go official here for Martinsville. It's going to be the 24 and the 44. Micah Walls. AJ Hyder. Does AJ have anything for this 24 going into 3 and 4? He's going to square him up. Cannot get to the back end. And Micah Walls, he's going to take it here from Martinsville. Wrecking further in the back here. Ollie Reeves back up into a top 15, but a huge wreck in the back. Micah Walls gets it done. AJ Hyder, Justin Rott, your top 3 here from Martinsville. And that 24 conquers the paperclip here. Well, once again, we saw it all race long. As soon as the leader got out, it was hard to get around him. Look at his laps led tonight. 52 laps led tonight. Here for that 24 machine. Congratulations to Michael Walls here. As you'll see him burn it down here on the front stretch. You took the lead. Never give it back, right? That's what you need to do here at Martinsville. You'll see him continue to burn it down for you fans at home. You're on the front stretch in that LSU Tigers machine. And what a win. We've seen Micah win on the channel before on the network. Here in several series, I believe. I believe he won in the Prestige Cup series, I believe. I believe he's won in the AWC Pro Series as well. So, congratulations on Micah. We know he's going to be a contender every time he shows up on the track, and he showed it tonight. He was a man on a mission, obviously eliminated from championship contention, but that doesn't mean he's going to give up the time here to anybody else. You know, he's still going to come out here and try to win as many races as he can here in this 24 car to prove that maybe if things went differently in these last couple of races, he was going to be a guy to look at to potentially be a favorite, but not meant to be here in season 4, but still a great run for this 24 machine. You see him continue to celebrate here for you fans at home, but we're going to go ahead and take one last commercial break here from Martinsville and get ready to get your post-race show started here. We talk to your top 3 finishers, take a look at your unofficial race results here. Take a look at your point standings to see who unofficially made it in here to the championship finale from Homestead. But we'll just have to see on the other side of this ad break. As we welcome everybody to the post-race show here for the San Andreas Auto Club Cup Series here from Martinsville Speedway here to Paperclip as we saw 24 AJ of Michael Walls take home the victory tonight here and what a way to do it, right? So we'll go ahead and take a look at the laps led tonight and let's go ahead and talk to the 24 machine and Micah if we can drag him up here in the HVTV booth. Hey, Micah, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your win here from Martinsville Speedway. Definitely a chaotic race to say the least here. Lots of cautions, lots of carnage, lots of chrome horns being used tonight. But leading 52 laps tonight here from in your 24 LSU Tigers machine. You got the race lead via kind of some pit strategy. And after that, didn't really give it up. Come home victorious here in overtime here from Martinsville. Walk us through your race tonight. Walk us through the carnage to get you up here in the victory lane.
Yeah, lots of carnage tonight. I mean, we pit kind of early. We pit on lap 111, and I knew I probably wasn't going to pit from then because I was just a little short on fuel. I knew I could probably stay with a lot of cautions, and obviously we had tons of those. So we just got out front. We had to race Hyder pretty hard. I didn't want to race him as hard as I did, but I knew what I had to do. It's my first ever win in SAAC, so I was pretty pumped to finally get that.
Well, then, first of all, then congratulations on that as well. First win in SAAC. So obviously, I assume it's pretty hard to win here. Obviously, it's kind of my first time calling you guys' race up here. But obviously, we know how talented you can be up here in these next gens. For you take this long to get up here, it's got to be special for you. But obviously, talking about Martinsville tonight, it seemed like everybody had some type of damage tonight. Obviously, we know aero doesn't matter a ton here at these cookie cutter short tracks, but walk us through the damage and what that could have potentially done to affect everybody's cars tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the damage really mattered anything. I had front end and rear damage right there at the very end, so I don't think it really mattered all that much. So
Yeah, definitely interesting to hear that because obviously everybody was painting and banging tonight. Obviously a lot of carnage. I believe we probably gotten the double dozen cautions tonight, but regardless, Micah, you somehow hold on there. Obviously, AJ hounding you in there to try to take that win away, but obviously, like you said, you knew what you needed to do to get it tonight. Race them hard, race them clean, though, to get your first win of the season. So congratulations on that. Your first win here in SAAC. Before we let you go, though, anybody you want to shout out, thank, or appreciate for tonight's win from the paperclip?
I got to shout out all the Gooding guys. Great, solid team point effort today. Hopefully, we'll extend our points lead and just shout out cockroaches and yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time up here in the HVTV booth, Micah, and we wish you good luck going into Homestead. Obviously not racing for a championship, but obviously can potentially go back-to-back there from Florida.
Thank you.
Micah Walls comes home victorious here from the paperclip here as we will talk to second place driver. AJ Hyder did not lead a lap tonight. That's super surprising. He was up there towards the front, but we'll go ahead and talk to your second place driver here in the 44 machine up here in the booth. Hey, AJ, it's Christian up here in the HVT booth. You got me?
Hey, I got you guys.
Well, a P2 finish, bridesmaid here from Martinsville, but, I mean, we're looking here at your stats here. Started first, current, finished second, a low of 19, didn't even drop outside the top 20 tonight. A lot of pace in that number 44 Pepsi machine, but just couldn't get it. He just couldn't get back to the 24 there on these restarts. But walk us through your race tonight. Walk us through the carnage of the paperclip here.
Yeah, definitely one of the Martinsville races of all time with this cup car. Started on the pole. I botched my race start pretty bad. Didn't even lead a single lap because of that. It really cost us some crucial points there. I felt like we could have needed those, but I mean, it is what it is. I was just here to survive for the most part. I know how these races usually go, and it's exactly what I thought it would be with these guys. And yeah, I'm just glad to get out of here with a pretty solid finish heading into the last race.
Yeah, obviously looking into the final six, we do have everything locked in. As obviously we knew you were pretty much you wouldn't need a catastrophic finish to get yourself out of the top six here. But looking into Homestead, obviously a mile and a half to end the season here. It looks like looking at points, you're coming in fourth. Not 96 points behind James Thurston. I don't know how exactly if everything resets from race to race or not. Obviously, this is my first time up here in the SAAC booth, but what's the mindset going into Homestead, trying to go race for a championship here next week?
Yeah, I mean, the goal pretty much is to try and win. I mean, I'm not really concerned about how the other guys are running. I'm more concerned about how I'm going to run and see what we can do at Homestead. I feel like I haven't really run a lot of races at Homestead with the Cup cars, so I'm not really sure how I'd fare to most mile and a half. But yeah, we'll just see how that goes.
Well, and obviously talking about the championship, how much preparation do you think you're going to be putting into next week to try to make sure you have everything locked in to put yourself in the best spot to go and get a championship here in season 4?
I think we'll put in like a decent amount of laps. I mean, probably just gonna do maybe like 1 or 2 practice sessions, doing a long run, I guess, just to see how the tires fall off and how it handles on a long run. But yeah, I think other than that, it's not really gonna be much other practicing. I'm just probably gonna use the actual race session practice for most of it. But yeah, other than that, just ready to get going for the last race.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that turns out. But obviously, a P2 finish for you, AJ, and this whole 44 team. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, appreciate, or shout out for tonight's run?
Yeah, just want to shout out everyone at Uprise Motorsports, James Thurston, Chris Lilly, even though he's not racing, Connor Ferrari, I'm pretty sure he made it into the next round, so that's great. Nikki B, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, we definitely appreciate your time up here in the HVTV booth, and we wish you good luck in the Homestead to see if you can, maybe go up there one spot better next week.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
AJ Hyder comes home P2 bridesmaid to that number 24 machine. And we'll go ahead and talk to Justin Rott, that number 76. He rounds out your podium tonight here from Martinsville. Hey, Justin, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
No, 1 second. Hold on.
Yep, you take your time.
All right, we're good.
Alrighty, well, obviously a P3 finish for you in the 76 team, and what a battle to get yourself back up towards the front. Obviously, we saw you had, top 5, top 3 pace tonight, but got caught up in a couple incidents, got caught up in the carnage tonight at Martinsville. Walk us through what it took to get you back up here inside this podium spot.
Yeah, I think I made the right decision on when to pit, and it kind of put me I was good on fuel. I knew for a while, and then I could just stay out under all the yellows. But I got the EOL the one time. Me and I want to say Borowski got together. I got the EOL, and that put me behind Micah and whoever else was up there. So in theory, if I didn't get that EOL, I'd been ahead of Micah. But that's all right. Just avoided the wrecks. Kind of just kept my nose clean as I could, and try to have some respect. I mean, if you aren't well liked in this league, you didn't finish very well. I don't think so, for the most part. So, yeah, just tried to use the friends I've made all season and some of the people I race with a lot, and trust them to race me clean and race them clean back. And that kind of snowballed me up into third there at the end.
Yeah, definitely the politics. We see that a lot in these league style racing and stuff like that. But obviously, we look back here at your stats, you're low of 29th. What was the kind of the mindset you needed to have, knowing that you had to drive your way back up through the field? What was the mindset you needed to keep going here and try to push through this race?
I mean, be aggressive, but cautiously. Just had to make those moves early on the restarts. It got, obviously, we didn't have many runs, but even 3 laps into a run, it was pretty hard to make a move. So you had to get by, pick the right lane, and I think I did a really good job of that all night. Getting through the field, just making passes around inside, outside, taking advantage of people I know might be a little slower on older tires, using them as picks. All the little things that goes into making a clean pass here, and I felt like I moved one guy out of the way. I think that was about it. I think all my passes were pretty clean, and just that's kind of the mindset I had to use to get back to the front, and knowing that a lot of guys in front of me had to pit and just staying out of the carnage and all that. It just kind of worked out in my favor.
We definitely did a good job of, like you said, putting yourself in a good spot to make passes, be aggressive when you needed to, and keep that car clean and up front there. And obviously coming home with a P3 finish, not too bad here, especially with the carnage here from the paperclip tonight. And obviously, looking into next week, coming into this week, obviously we knew you were kind of the first person who was out of contention to drive their way into the top 6 for points. But obviously, you and this whole 76 team have one more race to do here in season 4. What's the outlook going into Homestead next week?
That's a track. Every time I go there in the cup car, I always say that I need to warn that place, and I still feel the same way. It's just a track I've always struggled with in this car. I feel like I can run pretty well on the other tracks, and I could probably hot lap there pretty well. I think I won the pole last season at Homestead in this league, so last time I raced there was in the trucks. I won by 15 seconds, albeit, a little strategy, whatever. But like, I don't know, I just got to learn that track a little bit, and it's always the finale, so it's a good time to learn if you're not really racing for too much. And it sucks to not even have a chance at the title. I think since I got eliminated, I've had a really good postseason. And I felt like even before that, I'd had a really good speed. So wish I was in the top 6 racing for money, for a championship next week. But, it's just how the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of how it is sometimes. Most of the time is when you don't really need to be racing well, you're racing well. And when you need to be, you're not. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way like you said, the cookie crumbles. But still a really good finish tonight from Martinsville as well. We look forward to seeing what you can do from Homestead as try to finish out season 4. But Justin, another great run for you. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, shout out, appreciate for tonight's run from Martinsville?
Yeah, I mean, biggest shout out to Micah for his first win. He's my teammate and got us, more importantly than the win, got us great team points tonight, fighting for the team championship. So, but yeah, he's been here a long time, since almost the start of this league, and finally get a win for him. That's huge. Another win for the team. Jurg ran all the laps, made a great comeback, just get wiped out there at the end. Steven, Rivers, everyone else on the team, everyone in the T1A call and everything that support and helped. Everyone who's runs this league, and everyone that races every week keeps this going and for us. And of course all the KBRN guys for the broadcast all season long, and for you guys. Thank you for coming along here at the end to finish us off so we can have a proper season finale next week and for this week. Thank you.
We'll definitely appreciate the kind words up here in the booth, Justin. And yeah, glad to, for the opportunities up here to, get some eyeballs, some different eyeballs up in here. But we wish you good luck in the next week. And hopefully we can talk to you again, maybe up here in a podium spot there from Homestead.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
Justin Rott will come home P3 here. And I guess we'll go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results real quick before we head in and look into our points post Martinsville. Take a look at our unofficial results here from Martinsville. You'll see Michael Walls back here. He gets his first win here. From the paperclip, AJ Hyder back there, the P2. Justin Rott, P3. James Bomar will come home 4th, just outside that podium spot. Was so close, but not close enough. James Thurston, another good top 5 performance for him. Quincy Strawhacker rebounds to a top 6. Nicholas Borowski back there in the 23. He'll be 7th. Austin Dorn rebounds to 8th after, kind of getting ping-ponged around there towards the middle of the race there. He recovers to 8th. Fidel Fabian, P9, a good run for him. And Y. Roberts, we didn't hear from him all race long. He comes home P10. Good run for him. We look further back at P11 and Jody Robinson. Unfortunately, he'll be eliminated from the top 6 there. Really good race nonetheless, but just not enough to get him up and going. Traber Burns back there in O2, P12. Not a bad run for that O2 team. Ollie Reeves finishes P13. The Clean George back there in 14th in that 17 machine. And rounding out the top 15, Nicholas Budlimick back there in the 60. Larry Miles in the 30, 16th. 17th goes to Connor Zola in the 13. 18th goes to Brad Sawinski. 19th goes to Cody Rivera's and Steven Maggio. Rounds out your top 20. Looking further on back here, Connor Trafari, not a good finish for him back there in 21st. Donovan David back there in 22nd. Alexander Schumacher, P23. Chris Downey, P24. Amir Bascom, he showed some speed early. He'll finish P25. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, P26. Got caught up in a wreck late back there. Christopher Robbins, P27. He probably got in if he didn't get wrecked there late in the race there, unfortunately. But you got to feel bad for Christopher there in that 12 team. But looking further back, Chalky Tarpley back there in 28th. Ethan Marino back there in 29th, and rounding out your top 30 will be Brady Floyd. And then number 6 machine, and rounding out the rest of the field, Gino Mero, Ellis Wells out early here from Martinsville. But we do have the points in, so I'm happy to show that we do have our official points, and we can show you guys here at home who will be racing for a championship next week going into Homestead. So you see Christopher Robinson, as well as his brother Andretti, out of the playoffs, as well as Cody Rivera. They could not just make up the points in time to get back up and going. But you look at the unofficial point standings here out of Martinsville. James Thurston leads coming into Homestead, as well as James Bomar. Steven Maggio will be P3. AJ Hyder, Connor Trafari, Ali Reeves will be the 6 drivers racing for a championship going into next week into Homestead. So a big good luck to those 6 drivers to see who can come out on top. Obviously, that's a pretty stacked field right there. Really 6 very, very talented race car drivers. So I'm very interested to see who can get it done from Homestead Miami Speedway. And speaking of that, looking into the future, next week, if everybody can make it next week, you'll see KBRN cover the Homestead finale here for season 4. If not all 6 playoff drivers can make it, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back here to cover the finale here from Homestead Miami Speedway, as KBRN cannot make the race. So we will be covering the last 2 races here for season 4 for the SAAC Cup Series. So we look forward to seeing what can happen with that. But looking in the future here for the network, tomorrow we come back to Las Vegas as we end the AWC Pro Series season 20 season there from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Wyatt Roberts tries to hold on for his first championship there from Vegas. He comes in with a 30-point advantage over Bryson Bird in the 53 machine. Then we go into Saturday for the ISNF Cup Series as they go into Nashville Super Speedway, as Thomas Flynn in the 24 machine tries to hold on for a couple more races to try to get his first championship there in the ISNF Cup Series. And then around the corner, we go back to the UIS Ascendant Motors Truck Series as Henry Kalhoff and Tyler Helms battle it out for the points lead going into week number 7. But once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out and the huge support here. And obviously, we did kind of have to put this broadcast together last second. We do apologize for missing the first 40 laps here over on the YouTube side. But if you guys are interested in watching, a little bit of the pre-race and the first 40 laps of the race, it will be over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. I probably plan on just downloading the VOD and uploading it to YouTube so you guys can get all the action here on the YouTube side as well. But once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out and watching tonight's broadcast here from the virtual Martinsville Speedway as we continue the call of the night here as we congratulate Micah Walls here on his first win. Once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here for the SAAC Cup Series here for Season 4. We appreciate all of the support. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button over here on High Velocity TV. If you're watching over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, we'd also appreciate a follow over there. But once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here for the SAAC Cup Series. We look forward to seeing if, we come back here in 2 weeks' time for the season finale from Homestead. If not, we appreciate the opportunities. Everybody here running the league, Amir, everybody, all the admins here for SAAC, we appreciate the opportunity to show our product to you guys here, to a new fresh set of eyes, and we'd love the opportunities to come more and more if the time allows, and obviously if we can get schedules aligned. Obviously, the network's pretty busy trying to get everything set up and ready to go. But once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out. We hope everybody has a great rest of your Thursday night, and hope everybody's looking forward to the San Diego weekend as we go to Coronado in in real life for some racing there. Obviously, we watched the iRacing Coca-Cola Pro Series. Just take to the track there this last Tuesday, and obviously put on a pretty good show. And it makes me very excited to see what they can do in real life there. The trucks, the O'Reilly machines, and the Cup Series there on Sunday. But once again, hope everybody has a good rest of the night. Have a good rest of the weekend. If you don't see us ever again, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to glance over your screen for a little bit of time. But once again, another congratulations to Michael Walls on his first win here in SAAC. And we will call it a night here from the virtual Martinsville Speedway. Hope everybody has a good rest of your night, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.